Welcome to the AI Comms course from First Movers. This is a course created by yours truly. I wrote this course, of course, with the help of my AI, but this is a brand new course that I've personally developed to help guide you on your journey knowing how to communicate using AI. I believe that our world of marketing communications will forever change. And those that learn how to use AI to get way more effective at communication are going to be the first movers, the winners of this new age. So let's jump right in. I definitely recommend that you turn everything else off, that you listen into this course because it is going to contain some killer strategies along with a lot of physical demonstrations of how I've actually done it. So let's jump right in. All right, so we are in an AI content revolution. There's no denying this, but here's what you might not be aware of. Everything you thought you knew about writing is now officially dead. Yes. What do I mean by that? Because that's crazy to say. Well, I want you to no longer use a Word document. Ever. Ever. If you're using a Word document, you're doing something wrong. Because AI is your new blank slate. And let me tell you something, it's 25 times better than a blank slate. It's a beautiful new world when you realize that. When you realize you have a best friend writer that is there at a second's notice. It's all in how you train it and use it. If you're getting bad output, you're probably giving it bad input. We're going to fix that in this course. So marketers really face a choice. I believe there's a clear divide. You either learn how to do it and not just as a hobby, not just from people trying to make a quick buck showing you how to do it, but you learn it from the people that have actually received something like 25x results. Me in particular, I've received a 9,900% increase. That's the actual math. In 2 months of marketing with bots versus 10 years of marketing with human copywriters. That's insane. That's the kind of results I want for you. So there's two roads here, get left behind or learn how to do it correctly. In my opinion, there is no middle road. There is no hobbyist road. That will set you behind. That will not be a good thing. So it's not just about getting way more output, although that is, of course, one of the main goals, but it's about doing it actually better. What if you had something that was better than an army of elite writers? That is what AI is, if you use it correctly. So before AI, well, I was a damn good writer, let me tell you. I wrote 9 books. I taught 1,800 people that actually paid me to teach them the art of this. And I had a writing agency where we did 60,000 projects. I hired and trained all of those writers. So I handwrote everything that ever went out on any of my social media. It took way too long. I followed all the guru strategies. I used the hashtags. I linked to my videos. I created backlinks. I created standalone content. I created image quotes. I did it all. Well, let me tell you something. A trained Claude project and a GPT that's been trained as my writing assistant, those two things are responsible for 99% of my entire communications. If I need an email, a client message, a text message to a potential partner, a response to an employee, I'll use my GPT. If I need social media content, a video description, a LinkedIn post, a meta post, Instagram caption, I'll use my Claude project. I never humanly write. If I need a keynote, Claude project, never humanly write. It's just 10 times faster, 25 times faster. It's actually more than 25 times. I would take weeks on a keynote. I finished a keynote in less than 30 minutes. And it was the best keynote I've ever given. So this is the new divide. This is the new approach. It is communications through AI, but you are going to lead it. And you're going to be the one that's the human in the loop, because we can't do it without you. AI cannot run and post content, on brand content, without a human in the loop. Even with the abstract idea of AGI, put that aside, a human in the loop is still completely necessary because you're not going to get this on brand, personalized content that reaches the hearts and the souls of your people. So I wrote the majority of this new book, Fluid, the Adaptability Code, without an editor, without researchers, without copywriters. It was just me and AI, and I did it in 3 days. 6 hours of focus work. There's another tutorial just on how to write a book with AI in our school in the labs here. So let me tell you, a book at this level, this is a really good book. It's probably better than some of the ones I've spent $20K and hired copywriters and taken a year to write. It's better. That's insane. But again, it's all in how you use AI, right? That's the secret. I'm sure you see that by now. So ChatGPT Pro, I'm going to share with you one of the best things you could do is push AI. Do not accept output you don't like. So here's something I told ChatGPT Pro. I said, hey, no, but now say it with incredible feeling and heart. And I'm using the Pro account because the 200 month gets you this incredible level of reasoning that produces superior content. I have heard people use it for financial analysis, really in-depth stuff. If you need a PhD level mathematician, teacher, scholar, ChatGPT Pro. Not necessary to every project by far. Claude at $25 a month does everything you need to do for marketing, but absolutely critical for super, super in-depth stuff. So on Pro, and again, what did I say earlier? One of the best things you could do is push AI. See how far you can go with it. Have fun. The people that are willing to play with these tools and see what's possible and just keep pushing are the people that will uncover first mover's advantage. I can't stress that enough. So after I told it this, hey, say it with incredible feeling and heart, it said, I'm still in awe. I created my entire 9th book, just me and AI, without an editor, without a researcher, without anyone's help in just 3 days. That's 6 hours of my focus time versus an entire year and $20,000 before. I feel like I just broke all the rules. It's stunning. It's liberating. It's a whole new world. What? But see the difference? Like, this is like, okay, cool. Thanks to AI, I crafted my 9th book. I said, no, come on, say it with incredible feeling and heart. We pushed it. All right, so everything I do, whether it's a sponsorship email going out for my YouTube channel, anything, it's going to come through my bots. I have custom GPTs set up to write like me. I have my Claude project. So this email came straight from my writing bot on GPT, and it's a better email than what I would have written. I said, hey, here are my YouTube stats, create a proposed price for this video. So I did that in literal minutes, less than a minute. And the email was so dialed in, I just copied and pasted. And I was tired. That was a long day. So that was perfect for me. So not only will this get you way more efficient, it will get you better at your job, better at your work, better at communication if you use it right. So the idea of this AI comms course is I'm going to show you all of my AI-driven communication secrets. You're going to get something advanced, but also very tangible. And the goal is you haven't seen anything like this anywhere else because the truth is you haven't. What we're doing at First Movers is unique. It is new. It is groundbreaking. And we're testing every single day. So you're going to know why and how we're 25xing my content capabilities on 4 times less time, how we're going just from a few hundred impressions to as much as 250,000 impressions in one day, and the massive roadblock that I believe AI solves for good in communication. And then there's more. So the 25x difference is something I want to talk about more. Whenever we traditionally produced content, whenever we traditionally communicated, there was manual research that took hours and days. There was this painful process that makes me squirm. Writing first drafts from scratch. We had multiple revision cycles with editors that we had to go through. We had limits in our content volume and formats. That was the limiting factor. Was that human constraint? How many humans do we have? Inconsistency. If you had a bunch of writers writing on projects, no one's going to be consistent in their tone and style. That's a human. Humans are all different. It's really hard to corral a consistent tone and style. Creating a piece at a time, if you're a human, you can't really multitask and write that well. And then there's this heavy reliance on personal knowledge. If you had a client who had a law firm, you needed a past lawyer to write that content. No generalized writer would really do a great job unless they had domain-specific knowledge. And then that content would either rank or not rank because of that knowledge. So that was another huge constraint, was human knowledge. Fact checking, super time consuming. Manual optimization for SEO, this linear, straight line content creation process. And then how many variants can you test? That's another human factor. Let's throw a tool in there, but that tool is not, there's no intelligence in that tool. So often variant testing tools did not work very well. And then what about slow iteration? Don't get me started. That's traditional communication. Let's look at AI enhanced communication and content production. Where do I even begin? You have instant research synthesized in seconds out of billions of data points. You have first drafts generated in seconds that are so dialed in, so beautiful, and usually think of more data points than you would have thought of. You have real-time content improvement where you can say, hey, I don't think this is right. Can you double check? Or here's another fact, throw this in. And that AI gets to work, adding that in, rewriting. Beautiful process. I've asked my Claude project many times, hey, add in this additional point. And it never gets upset, even if I asked it to revise 15 times, because I forgot these 15 other points. I create a lot of personalization in my YouTube scripts. So when I think of a point, I'm going to add it in. But you have that real-time nature of instant improvement. You can scale your content across formats in 1 second. Create this for Instagram, create this for LinkedIn, create this for X. The more specific you get with your output requests, the better. We'll talk about that quite a bit in this course. Parallel content creation. You can have multiple GPTs, multiple Claude threads going at once, creating tons of different content pieces, whether it's a business plan or a keynote or a presentation or a team employment SOP structure or a YouTube script or a meta post, anything you want. The knowledge base, don't get me started here. We have access to billions and billions of data points. That is incredible. What about automated fact verification? With Search GPT, we can now have ChatGPT look real time for facts, and the way it curates that knowledge is often better than the top results of Google. And it's not always pulling from the highest DA. It's pulling from super relevant, niche-specific results. We've got built-in SEO optimization where we can have the AI optimize on the spot for the keyword. Talk about content adaptation. We've got an agile process with AI. We can easily A/B test because we can produce anything we want, and then we can optimize very rapidly. That is the 25x difference. So this old world is where you had this idea of having to hire a lot of writers or expensive writers, waiting weeks, and then trying to figure out yourself. Your constraints were time and people. This new world, you can train AI on your voice or your brand voice instantly and generate in seconds. And you can scale because you now have better systems without those constraints. This is beautiful. So here's the great divide. I think 90% of marketers and publishers and even creators, although the creators are definitely getting hip, they're still creating content like it's 2020, pre-ChatGPT. And only 10% are leveraging AI for the first mover's advantage, which is the work of entire comms teams. If you have a Claude project that can do the work of 100 writers, you have first mover's advantage. And that's what this course and First Movers is really all about. You're going to learn exactly how to do that in this course. So the old process, hiring a writer, the new, training in AI. The old process, hours of writer. The new process, you're going to learn how to craft your prompts and the approaches you have to which AI tools. The old process, a weekly average of posts. If you're lucky, if that writer delivers, if you have the energy, versus daily excellence. Instantaneous content, a team of 10 versus a team of you and AI. The idea is not to replace humans, but to augment tremendously. We don't replace creativity with AI. We remove barriers between ideas and the people waiting to get those ideas. So you're going to learn how to train AI to write in your voice. You're going to learn systems for consistent, high-quality content. And you're going to learn how to produce frameworks that scale across platforms. I want to tell you a little bit about this content creation gap. So a lot of marketers, communicators, creators, they spend the majority of their time on production and not what is actually most important, which is strategy and creativity. This is where I wasted all my time as well. I say wasted, but had to get done. But I was sitting there filming for hours, rushing through my script, rushing through the strategy. And if you watch my YouTube training, you'll see I have this super in-depth process of producing content for YouTube that gives me the first mover's advantage. That is incredible. And that script compilation process takes more than 2 minutes. It takes some time, but it is what gives me that incredible advantage. So if you can spend more time and flip this on its head, you get better results. And AI does that. AI allows you to actually spend 80% of your time being creative and strategic, and only 20% on actual production and publishing, which is that grunt. Honestly, it's the machine work, right, that we should let the machines do. So the AI advantage, when you apply it to comms and marketing, way faster content production, way faster content variations, and way more testing opportunities. So as we progress in these lessons, I want you to think of this. The new marketing communication formula is human strategy plus AI execution. If you've got those two things dialed in, you have unlimited scale. And you're going to see real results coming up where we're getting out weekly posts on the blog. We're getting out twice a day awesome posts on X. And our brand content is going really well too. Client emails, we're sending out tons of client emails, and how we're doing that is bringing in AI, but also still personalizing what we do for that client. So for me, I spent 10 years struggling with being consistent on X. In November of 2024, I trained Claude on my own style and also viral content, and now I'm publishing daily high-performing content. I don't ever need to hire another writer. And I'm publishing more content than I ever have. I've 3x'd my YouTube content with my clone. Claude writes the scripts. I'm tripling my book output, literally publishing 3 books this year. I'm doubling our monthly blog content with one writer doing 4 hours a week. It's insane. This is possible for you. This is the first mover's advantage. And if you can streamline and automate even more, which is what we do at First Movers for businesses, amazing. If you can streamline and automate your operations, how you send sales proposals, how you talk to clients, you will 25x everything. So I want you to think even beyond communications. What's possible in this new world? Remember, AI doesn't replace creativity. It shortens the gap between idea and your audience. It connects those two beautifully. The number one massive roadblock that I believe AI solves is this: time and creativity paralysis, where you're just like, I don't know what to do because I'm out of time and I'm burnt out. I'm not creative. AI solves this. What has taken us hours and hours of painful struggling, AI does in seconds, and it does it better. But only when you know how to use it right. That is the key. All right, this was the introduction. Now, we're going to head into the next lesson, which is training AI on your brand voice. I'll see you there.